Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at theDove.us. Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Delighted to have in the studio with us today Southern Oregon's eclectic candidate. He is a Republican, but he also got the Democratic nod and Libertarian nod, and I think every other nod that's out there, running totally unopposed. Great to have with us today, Southern Oregon Representative Sal Esquivel. How you doing, bud? Good to see you.
Fine. Good to see you, Perry.
Keeping you busy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Well, here you are, a couple of weeks out. Got a lot of quick things to talk to you about. First of all, how does it look in the House? Do you think the Republicans have a chance to take the State House?
I think we have a good chance. Right now we're at 26 to 34, and we have a very good chance to pick up 3 to 5 seats. So we could be just shy of the majority, if not tied or in the majority. So it's going to depend upon those last 2 seats. But we have 3 real good seats I think we can pick up.
Good, and the polling looks good in those areas.
Looks very good.
And I know you're not in the Senate, you were for a short time, but how does it look over there? I understand that's kind of a hot spot too.
That's going to be either, it'll remain the same, will be at a tie again, which when I went in the Senate was in a tie, 15-15, or we could take the majority. And that's 3 races that are very important there. That's the Bates-Daughter race down here in Southern Oregon. It's the Betsy Close-Sarah Gelser race in the Albany-Benton County, Lynn-Benton County area.
I got a little press today. I see.
Did it?
Yeah, well, I guess apparently she ran an ad that nobody likes.
Who was that?
Betsy Close.
Betsy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Must have been truthful.
Yeah.
Then there was the one that Peter Courtney has his hand full because he's running against a very popular former county commissioner, and Patty Millen, I think is her name. Very popular. So that'll be interesting to see how that one comes out.
Wow. All right, well, the ballots are out. There's no excuse for not filling them and putting them back.
I've already done mine.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Good boy. All right, I'll probably do mine tonight. But anyway, the ballots are out. Well, listen, a couple quick things to talk to you about. First of all, the governor's mess.
Oh.
I mean, all right, it's one thing to have Cover Oregon, which is a mess, but now he's got all these other credibility issues going on with his fiance and everything else. Is he in trouble?
Well, I think the governor is in serious trouble. I think Dennis Richardson, the difference I see between the governor and Dennis is that the governor makes excuses and Dennis has solutions. Mm-hmm. That's the big difference I see. The governor has squandered, in my opinion, over $500 million of taxpayer money. You talk about Cover Oregon, that's about $300 million. But let's look at the bridge that we've never started on the Columbia River at $196 million. Let's also look at the fiasco in DHS for $50-60 million. Let's also look at Rudy Cruz, whom he hired, and what we did is we funded him finding a job throughout the United States. So there's a lot of baggage here. There's also a situation in the employment department that cost about $8 or $9 million. So there's a lot of things that the governor has not paid attention to and not been a very good steward of people's money in the state of Oregon. And that's what Dennis is going after him for. And rightfully so, it's accountability.
All right. Does that message you just shared with us, do you think it's resonating among the liberals in the Tri-County area?
I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, we know the Tri-County area kind of, it runs the state in so many ways.
Well, it does in a lot of ways. It depends upon how fired up those people get to come out and vote. I think that's a bit more than anything. I think the conservative aspect of Oregon are very fired up. I think they're going to turn out. And that's one thing we need to talk about. 1 in 5 Republicans stay home all the time. Right. If we had those 1 in 5 vote, we would win every statewide election. Right. You know that. You've run the numbers.
Yeah, I've run the numbers.
And so what we're doing in Jackson County is literally Jan and I went out. We went out and had 20 or 30 people that we told them that we're going to check on them to make sure
they vote.
And if you don't like looking at me, just vote.
Okay. Well, it is get out the vote. I mean, and there's no excuse when the ballot's sitting there in your hands right now. Cover Oregon, huge mess. What is your solution to the mess?
Well, I'm not sure I have a solution in the aspect that I'm not in on the real, inner workings of the situation. The only thing I can say is that we're going to end up on the federal system is what we'll end up on, I think. And so we've basically taken 300 million. Yeah, exactly.
There's an improvement.
Well, it's better than what we had.
Yeah.
We spent $300 million and didn't sign up anyone on the line online. So that's a pretty remarkable record, I think.
Now, I had Senator Alan Bates in here, and I think Alan's a great guy. He's a wonderful person. However, but he sat here and defended Cover Oregon, that it's working for small business. I'm trying to figure out, what report is he reading?
Well, that's just it. I mean, I've heard Alan Bates say, the rollout is da-da-da-da-da, and it's going to cost a little bit more, but in the long run, your rates will go down. Now, I have yet to meet anyone other than people that are subsidized by the taxpayer that their rates have gone down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not happening. It's going to cost you more. You can't obviously keep your doctor. That's obvious. You can't keep your existing plan. I had a fellow out in Central Point that called me. He'd lost his plan. He had to go into that system, and it was less of an amount, like $20 a month less. But his deductible went from $700 to $2,500. So he lost money on it.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who's winning on this deal, and the answer, I think, is nobody. I only have you for a short time, so I want to ask you a couple of other things. Open primaries, Measure 90, huge controversy. I fought this when I was chairman for 4 years, and I've had some fairly significant Republicans call me and say, you're wrong on this, and I go, yeah, prove me that I'm wrong on this, when both parties now are saying no to it.
Well, I'm adamantly against it, and I'll tell you why. Why should we allow someone that's disenfranchised and disassociated themselves with a specific party,
right,
have a voice in the outcome of the candidate?
Yeah.
Now, my solution, and I wrote an opinion piece to the Medford Tribune, but of course, they've really printed that one. Yeah. But what I feel is, fine, you want someone in there, you go ahead and you have a primary, and let the two parties say, okay, you can open those primaries to Green Party, to whatever party, non-affiliates if they want to get together and be organized, doesn't matter. But get your own candidate in there. Then at the end, you may have 4 or 5 candidates, but I'll tell you what, at least each party will be represented by somebody that has the same thought process as the party.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm strongly against Measure 90 and no on 90 if you want to know where I am on that. But I'm trying to figure out how this ever got to the ballot and then have both parties turn against it. And all you got to do is look to California. This is what happens when you have an open primary. You get one party that's in rule and you can't do anything about it.
Well, they have it in South Carolina as well. And what the people in South Carolina explained to me was that they would pick out the weakest Democrat or the weakest Republican, and then just the opposite, they would vote for that person. So you'd have the 2 weakest candidates end up. I've never seen
a Republican cross over and vote for a Democrat in an open primary, but I've seen a ton of Democrats cross over and vote against a Republican. Mm-hmm. So it just doesn't work. All right, Measure 91, marijuana. You got a feel for that?
Yeah, I
know you're against it, but you got a feel.
I think it may pass. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really concerned with that. And I'll tell you why. I was in the service with a guy that started out with marijuana, and 18 months later he was on heroin. This is his gateway drug.
Right.
And that's all it takes is one.
Well, okay, there's been some money spent both ways. And the one I see is, legalize it, regulate it, tax it.
Well, if you tax it, you're going to exacerbate the underground, because if I go to the underground and I can buy it for $1, whereas if I tax it and it costs me $1.25, who do you think I'm going to go to?
Yeah,
I'm going to go to the underground.
Sal, last question. Jobs are still #1 in the state of Oregon, and what in the world can we do to get more companies to hire more and actually move here? Why are we losing companies to Nevada and Texas? Why can't we draw them to Oregon?
Well, we say that we're business friendly, but I think that we need to reevaluate that. There's several factors. One is that when it takes a place like Walmart 8.5 years to get a permit to build a store, that's already zoned for that they purchased the property and zoned for it, something's wrong with our land use system.
Right.
The other thing we need to do is we need to have shovel-ready sites where we do supposedly have some, but they haven't been very successful for some reason. But we have to get more jobs that are available that we can do in Oregon that aren't necessarily pollutant jobs. And what brings to mind is the unfortunate thing is money does grow on trees in this state.
Yeah.
And we have two renewable natural resources, water and timber.
Mm-hmm.
And we have yet to utilize either one of those. We let the water go out to Columbia, we don't store it, and then we do the same thing with our trees. We don't allow people to go in and use it, because a tree is just a crop. That's all it is. And I was just with the Coquille tribe over by the Coos Bay area, and they have an 80-year harvest plan. So they're rotating their crop every 80 years.
Right. And
that's what we should be doing. We should be doing that 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's simple.
Well, any last minute thoughts as we got 2 weeks away?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting run. I think that the governor is the one that we have to really watch, because I think that one we've got a very good chance. I think Dennis has an excellent chance of being the next governor in Oregon. And if that's the case, at least we have a backstop in the state of Oregon and a say.
Wow.
Because I've been up there 11 years. I've been in the majority once. And really, and I was a freshman and we didn't get to do anything. So I'd like to go back and be in the majority sometime.
All right. Well, thanks for your service. You and Jan, you guys are just passionate about this, and I see you all over the place. You're quite the team, and so keep up the good work. Sal Esquivel, and how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you?
Oh, they can just call our office at 541-734-4369.
Okay.
Or they can go on the website at the state or my local website. They can go to my local website is salesquivel.us.
.us. All right, thanks, buddy. We'll be right back.